I'm going to show you guys how to make the most delicious homemade ice cream you've ever tasted. I have a whole bunch of kitchen projects going on today. I've got tomatoes from last year that I found in the freezer. I forgot that I had them, and I'm going to turn them into probably a few batches of spaghetti sauce, which is good because we're running really low on our jars of canned tomato sauce. I only have 8 left, and that's rationing amounts. We are rationing that at this point. We're gonna have spaghetti tomorrow, and then I'll freeze whatever's left of it. Garlic scapes that are already chopped up. I have garlic scapes that I picked yesterday, and last week when our family was here, they helped pick some of these. I have corn on the cob from the freezer that is gonna get made for dinner tonight as a side edamame. I just wanted to have that as a snack this afternoon. This is also discount sausage from our salvage store that I'm going to be making into lunch this week with some gnocchi. This is the potato and egg mixture for gnocchi. And then I have all of this beautiful basil that I picked, pruning the plants. And this is going to get made into pesto with a bunch of the garlic scapes. But you guys are here for ice cream. I'm here for ice cream right now. So we're gonna start out with washing some duck eggs, and you can use chicken eggs for this if you want to, but you're gonna want to use more. Maybe when I crack these open, I'll show you the size difference in the yolk with a chicken egg. So I'm gonna put 6 of these in the sink and get them soaking for a few minutes and rinsed off. While those soak for a few minutes, we're gonna add 1 cup of sugar to a pot, and then also 1.5 cups of half and half. I'm gonna turn the stove on medium-ish, and we want to dissolve the sugar into that half and half. You're gonna need a whole lot of whisk action for this ice cream recipe. So I'm gonna actually use 5 duck eggs and 1 chicken egg in this, just so I can show you the size difference, and I don't wanna waste a chicken egg just to crack it and show you. If you wanna use just chicken eggs, I'd use 6 to 8 depending on their size. If they're a little bit bigger, 6, 7. If they're smaller, 8. You're just using the yolks. So I just want to show you, this is the size difference between my runner duck eggs and a random chicken egg. The duck eggs are so much bigger, and the yolks inside the eggs are much bigger too. So let me crack these and show you. Alright, we'll go with chicken egg first. Alright, there you go. You can see the duck egg yolk is way bigger. Duck eggs are super duper rich, and that's why I like using them for ice cream. I'll set these aside to use for later. I'll probably just bake them for breakfast or something tomorrow morning. And then for these, we just are gonna wanna whisk these. I think technically we're gonna whisk them until your arm feels like it's gonna fall off. That's how I measure it, but really you just want them to be fluffy and to lighten up. So I just whisk them for a few minutes. Alright, we're gonna call that good. It's not super light in color because the yolks are so rich and yellow. You can see that there's some air bubbles in it and it's a little fluffier now. We're gonna take this sugar and half mixture and add it to the egg mixture. And you wanna do tiny little bits at a time, so while you're whisking. All right, this is our custard mixture. And I know this is gonna feel kind of back and forth, and it is, but we're gonna pour the mixture we just whisked together back into the saucepan, and then we're gonna heat it up on the stove until it thickens into a custard. I'm turning the stove onto medium-low, maybe closer towards medium. And I'm gonna pour the mixture back in here. And we're gonna whisk this the entire time until it's thickened. Because if you don't whisk it the whole time, you're gonna get scrambled eggs. But real quick, while that heats back up and we have a minute before it's too warm, I'm gonna put 1.5 cups of heavy cream in that bowl. I'm trying to use as few dishes as possible, so I'm using the same bowl over and over. We're gonna set this off to the side, the heavy cream, and start our whisking. Okay, so can you see how you're starting to be able to see the trace line of where I'm putting the whisk? That's how we know it's done. It's thickened up. You can see those lines. Take it off the heat. And just in case we did get any scrambled egg in there, I'm gonna use a fine mesh strainer. And then we're gonna pour this into that heavy cream bowl. And then mix this together. Okay, and then I like to add a splash of vanilla. It probably ends up being like 2 teaspoons, I would say. And then you can add whatever ingredients you want. I'm gonna do strawberry ice cream today with store-bought strawberries. And if you saw my last video, you'll know why they're store-bought strawberries. But I'm gonna whisk the vanilla in here real quick, and then I gotta cut up some strawberries, and I think I'm gonna add a splash of strawberry jam too. You could just do jam. I wanna use fresh strawberries in here. I like the combination. You could use canned berries or make like a compote instead. You could add like cookies. Oreos are really good. We like to add cereal sometimes because our salvage store always has really cheap cereal. The organic boxes that are usually like $8 for like 50 cents. So we'll do like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or honestly, Fruity Pebbles in ice cream is the best thing ever. You could do vanilla bean. I've done chocolate chip with homemade whey caramel from milk that my friend Sage gave me from her sheep. That's really yummy. Yeah, you could do all sorts of things. But I'm gonna go cut strawberries and then we will finish up. I'm leaving some of the strawberry top on because I like giving them to my birds. They really love strawberries. These ones are actually fairly ripe on the inside. I'm surprised. All right, I think that's probably good. I would normally use more, but I'm gonna put some strawberry jam in it too, so I don't want to overpower it. This is pretty thick jam. I'm just gonna do a scoop and whisk it. Second scoop. We're gonna add our fresh berries. Now we want to let this sit and kind of marinate for 4 to 6 hours. I leave it overnight, so I'm actually not going to turn this in my ice cream maker until tomorrow. I like to leave it overnight because I feel like that gets some really good flavor in there. You could also just do jam and then add fresh strawberries if you want them to be really fresh in the ice cream. Add them at the end of churning. Sometimes I do that when I use cereal or cookies. I'll marinate it with just like half of the mixture and then I'll add them in fresh at the end so that there's like still a crunch to it. So I'm gonna just set this on the counter for a short amount of time so it's a little less hot because the mixture is still quite warm. And then I'm gonna pop it in the fridge. Key part of this is putting a lid or some sort of like saran wrap or something on it so you don't get this weird film at the top. You want it to be covered. It is actually the next evening and I am getting the ice cream maker all set up. This part of it has been in the freezer. I usually just keep it in the freezer and it kind of just sits in there. All right, pop there. Make sure that goes in the actual spot. There's like a divot in there this goes in. Lid on. And I don't actually usually time how long it takes. I think it takes less than 30 minutes. I would say probably like 20-25 minutes. I'm just gonna let it do its thing until it looks thick enough. Okay, it looks like soft serve now, and that's usually when I stop it. Maybe a little bit more solid than soft serve. Now is when you'd want to taste it, which I already know this tastes delicious, but I don't need to add anything to this. I'm just gonna put it in these containers. It should make about 1.5 quarts, which is 1.5 of these containers. We just need to rinse this guy out. That's all. Back to the dungeon. I like to keep these down in the deep freezer here so that they stay nice and solid and they get really solid really fast, like it's a nice hand-dipped ice cream so they don't stay like soft serve. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.